Okay, I thought it was in the hunt, a little bit free, but not too bad. I thought the race trim it was really good. I thought it was a great card. I can compete for the win tomorrow, so excited about that. Feels nice after last week, so nice to have a fast car.
What was the debrief like after with you and Paul and the team after last week?
As you would expect, right? I mean, I kind of just, we still stay to a routine of how we debrief things, but obviously a little bit more in depth, being when you're that far off last week. There's a little bit more to talk about, and a little bit more of just, where did we miss it? Was there a mistake? Was there where were things at, right? And then try to come up with some answers, processes, those type of things. How do we be better? That's all.
You guys, I know, go back a couple of years ago, one of your championship years, you guys had a bad race at Dover. You guys had a really rough debrief. Was it similar to that in nature? It seemed like that one at that time kind of galvanized you guys a little bit.
Yeah, I think we won it next week.
Was there any solace?
So hopefully that's the same.
It's not your first rodeo, so you have the ups and downs, right? You just
after 20 or so years of doing this, you go through the ups, and unfortunately you go through the downs, and you just got to remember you stick together, and obviously it's a strong team. I did tell Paul last week, in all honesty, I said, if you told me I had full reins of the company and I can do whatever I want, I wouldn't change a thing. We got a great team, we got a great pit crew, we got a great crew chief, great car chief, everybody's good. We just had an off day, right? We just missed it. So that happens at times, but it doesn't mean you pull the panic button yet.
Was there solace knowing the fact that your two teammates both had a top 5 last week?
It makes it more confusing, but also shows of his capability, so sure.
How do you balance fletching last week versus using that as a way to be all right, we don't want to go back. We don't want to do that again.
Yeah, I mean, you got to relive it, right? I mean, the easy thing to do and what you want to do is pull out of the racetrack and forget about it. Unfortunately, you can't do that, because if you do, you'll probably have more of those days. So you gotta relive it another day or two and go through every detail and relive the misery one more time. But that's just part of life, and you do that and you move on. Eventually, you got to close the book, but that's usually Monday, Tuesday, type of thing. And eventually, you got to close the book and move forward and look at the next race. But
so when
I'm glad to see we got to see again.
So when you said that you wouldn't change a thing, what was said back to you? They say, I know you're watching.
Oh, I'm highly distracted here. Sorry.
yeah, that's all right. What are you seeing?
I got him. I had a good 4 apparently. My 1 and 2 wasn't the best.
So what was said back to you when you said I wouldn't change a thing? It's good, or we wouldn't change a thing either, or?
It's just a conversation. I mean, it's eventually you gotta like I said, we're all human, right? And I think when we get to this level, you're here because you probably look inward first, and not just myself, but I think everybody on the team looks at what they're doing wrong before what everybody else is doing wrong.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's nice to have a little verification of where everyone's mind is at, right? Like, I want to be open and honest, say, hey, here's where I'm at, right? If I ever did want to make a change, I'm going to tell you to your face, right? Like, I just think it's better that way to just know, right? Because it's just something sitting in the back of your mind. You don't want that. And it never was a thought in my mind. I just wanted to just say it again to that point. But that's all there was to that comment, right? Just the best thing I've ever figured out in my life is to just be open and honest with the people you work with.
So coming here today, then, did you feel like you were able to get through practice with knowing you had something that was going to be competitive enough for tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, you usually can figure it out within the first 15 laps here at Martinsville. Like the first 10, you're kind of like, the pressures are coming up where we're at. But then, by lap 20, it's like, we're in the hunt, and by lap 40 or 50, I thought we were really solid. So, and it feels good, right? Sometimes you have speed, it doesn't feel good. The car feels good, so I like that. Obviously, going out early is not going to help us any in qualifying, but so far we're hanging. Hope to be in the top 10 hopefully by the end of this thing.
So I was just going to ask if you could notice the extra power when you get back on the throttle.
Yeah, there's more. The shift points are quite a bit different, and then later in the run, just kind of how the car reacts and those type of things. Yeah, there's definitely a little bit more power. Yeah.
So when you're driving around last week, it was obviously from the start that you didn't have what you wanted. So are you confused? Are you mad? Are you depressed? What?
all the above. Yeah, you get all those emotions, right? As you get, first off, like you're kind of like, oh, what's going on? Where are we off? And we're trying to fix it. And then you swing the bat a couple times and you make minor progress, if any. Then you start to get pissed off, right? Because that's a normal reaction. And then by the end, you're a little depressed. You're kind of like this. And then you're a little embarrassed at the end of all that, even. So it's just, you get all the negative emotions. It's just part of competing, right? And it's part of, like, if you want the glory of winning, sometimes you got to go through the agony of defeat. That's what it is.
Sounds like the stages of grief or something.
Yeah, you go through them all. It's part of it. I don't know what to tell you. If you care about things and you try hard enough, you're gonna feel those things and it doesn't go right. Yep.
Going
How
into
hard
the
is it to
off
make up-
season,
Go ahead, Jen.
going into the off weekend, Joey,
Oh.
what's on the
Oh.
team's agenda as you break down how the first part of this season has started for you guys?
I don't know if there's an agenda at the moment. Right now we're just trying to look at probably some of the races that we run, where our strengths and weaknesses are, and I think there's no doubt our strengths are short tracks. They have been for multiple years now. So we'll see what we can do to try to make our mile and a half stuff a little bit faster. And last week, back to that, I mean, that's the first time with that rules package at a bigger track. So trying to understand that stuff too will be important.
Speaking of that, if the greater horsepower is under consideration for intermediate speedways, some guys are advocates of that, some guys not so much. Where do you come down on that?
Who is not a fan of more horsepower?
Well, I mean, William said he really didn't think it made a difference at Darlington, the wake and the
The
aero
wake
was-
and those things, sure. I don't know if it really made the cars less aero dependent. But I do think more horsepower is just better, right? I mean, I don't know. Doesn't ever.
Just
doesn't
as a general
everyone-
rule.
I mean, a general rule of just being a fun person. I don't know. Have you ever got in your car and said, "Yeah, it's plenty of power"? Ugh. I've
Who
never
says
said.
that?
Who said that? Yeah, what's wrong with you? Not me. Not me. There's never enough horsepower.
How about where you stack up here as far as, like, how hard is it to make up ground at this track? We always think it's impossible. It's very, very difficult.
To make up ground here? Oh,
Yeah.
you definitely can. Yeah, you can. It might take a while.
Yeah.
You'll be really patient, but yeah, you definitely can. Yep. Definitely. Over time.
Good time for two more.
Do you have anything fun planned for the off week?
Just reconvene with my family. That's really all I ever want to do, is just spend time together. Plan to go to the beach and just. My kids are at, like, the perfect fun age. Like, Dad's still awesome. Dad still knows a lot at the moment. Right? At some point, that's going to change from what I hear. So,
Oh, yeah.
Right now, I'm on, like, the primo ages to go have some fun and ride some bikes and watch them run on the beach and play basketball and stuff together.
You
It'd be
live
fun.
at the fun house. You do.
We like to have fun. I'm still a kid at heart. I work hard, play hard.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Good luck.